Hey, Pokedad Fan Club, it's me, Pokedad, and today I've got a special treat for you. We just saw the release of the XY8 Red Flash and Blue Impact, or Blue Shock, depending on who you ask, in Japan. And so with that coming out, I thought I'd go ahead and do a deck profile with some of the cards in it. So today we're going to take a look at Mega Mewtwo, the X version. All right, this one is the one that's a little bit weaker, or at least most people think it's going to be weaker. But before I get started, let me just mention a couple things to you. I've already recorded the Tuesday Night Fights videos before I recorded the deck profile, but I wanted to actually give you the deck that I used in the Tuesday Night Fights video, and then I'm also going to do another video. So the way I would recommend you do this is watch this video first, then watch the Tuesday Night Fights videos, and then I'm going to have an observation from the Fights video telling you about what I observed just from playing it from the very first time, what changes I would make. There's probably some obvious ones as I go through this deck profile, but when you first start a new deck, sometimes it's difficult to play testing really does wonders to help you see what you missed. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and give you the deck profile for the Tuesday Night Fights, and then we'll have another video talking about what changes I made. With that being said, Mega Mewtwo is one of those that you have to have fighting and psychic energy. So it makes it a little challenging to build a deck. So I start off my Pokemon line with 3 Baby Landorus. Baby Landorus is going to help us accelerate the energy. He's a fighting type himself, so it just makes sense. We put a fighting energy on him, battle compress some energy in the discard pile, and then we can Shadow Power and begin hitting, putting whatever kind, whether it's fighting or psychic, onto Mewtwo and Mega Mewtwo. So he's really not here as an attacker. He's just here as an energy accelerator, and Shadow Power is only going to do 20 damage. We're not using Fighting Stadium. We're not using Strong Energy. We're not using Muscle Bands. So this is strictly just to get our Mega Mewtwo powered up as quickly as possible. Alright, now we play 3 Mewtwo EX, and I feel like the best one to use is this is the one from Red Flash, okay? Now, neither one of them are great for this deck, but this is the one I feel works best with this deck. So the first attack for 1 psychic energy does 30 damage, and it does 30 times the number of psychic energies on this Mewtwo. So we don't really ever want to put more than 2 psychics on here, simply because we want to be putting fighting energy on it. But at the beginning, if we have 1 psychic on there, we can at least begin hitting for 30, so we can at least be putting a little bit of chip damage on the opponents. And then also the second attack is kind of neat. If you have 2 psychic and a colorless, or if you have 2 psychic and a Dimension Valley out, you take the damage counters that are on Mewtwo and you switch them with the damage counters that are on your on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if, say for instance, Mewtwo has 140 damage on it, and let's say you're going against an opposing Eviltal, and maybe you've put 30 damage on him, you can switch those damage counters, and the opposing Eviltal will be knocked out, and you'll only have 30. So it could be kind of neat, especially at the beginning as we're getting set up. We can kind of tank one of these, and then begin building up a Mega Mewtwo on the bench. So anyway, that's the one I chose to go with. You could certainly use the other one. I just don't think it's as good. Alright, so this leads us right into the Mega Mewtwo. And this is the Mega Mewtwo X version. This one is the little bit tankier version. Has 230 HP, and it has Vanishing Strike, which is the attack. For 1 psychic, 2 fighting, and a colorless, you can do 150 damage. If there's a stadium in play, it does 200 damage. But the cool thing to remember about this is it goes through everything. It's just kind of like Shred, like Hydreigon's Shred. It goes through walls, so it goes through Aegislash. Not that we use any special energy. It goes through Giratina. It goes through Beautifly. It goes through Pyroar. It goes through all the walls, and it goes through Hard Charms. Hard Charms, you don't account for the reduction of damage because Vanishing Strike goes through everything. This makes it very nice when we're taking on just regular EX decks. This can one-hit KO all EXs except Wailord. So Vanishing Strike, very nice. You can sometimes, once you get one going, many times you can just sweep through the rest. Alright, so that's kind of the idea. We're going to use Landorus to get Mega Mewtwo charged up, and then we're just going to try to sweep. Alright, so we've got a few support Pokemon here. The first one, maybe you haven't heard of yet, is Smeargle. And it's from the new set, so it is in proxy also. We don't worry about the attack. We don't worry about the HP or anything. We rarely start with this. Usually we start with Landorus or Mewtwo. But Smeargle has this ability, Coat of Paint or something like that. Basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to take 1 energy off your active Pokemon, replace it with an energy of a different kind in the discard pile. So that can actually do a couple things for us. The first thing it can do is if we don't have a fighting energy in hand but we have some in the discard pile, we can put a Psychic on Landorus and then switch them, and then Landorus can now Shout of Power if we're stuck with Psychic energy in our hand. The other thing is we might get stuck with Psychic energy. We might have 2 Psychics and a fighting on Mega Mewtwo, but we really need 2 fighting, so again we can switch out the Psychic energy and put a fighting energy on here. It really makes it a lot more streamlined because since we're running dual energies in this deck, we have to have a way to you know, if we run into Psychics when we need fighting, or when we run into fighting when we need Psychic, Smeargle helps us with that. So we just play 1 of copy. Sometimes we don't even need him, but there are times where you can see your hand isn't doing too well. You have an Ultra Ball in your hand, and you can go grab Smeargle, and it'll help you. You know, when you thought you wouldn't be able to attack with Mega Mewtwo, then you're able to, but just because of this guy. Alright, if it isn't obvious, we play some Shaman EX. We're going to play 2 Shaman EX. Again, this card is really just going to be around to stay until it rotates in a couple years. So if you don't have 1 or 2 or a play set of them, and you're really seriously thinking about getting into competitive play, I recommend at least getting 1 or 2 because they're that useful in the deck, especially in the first couple turns. Alright, and then finally, the last Pokemon we play is Hoopa. We play 1 Hoopa. It makes sense, especially if we get stuck with maybe a Landorus but nothing else. We can Ultra Ball for Hoopa, grab a couple Mewtwo's and a Shaman. If we have a Spirit Link, we might even grab a Mewtwo and a Mega Mewtwo and a Shaman. But I think Hoopa in any Mega deck is just going to be a standard card. So Hoopa's got the Scoundrel Ring that allows you to grab 3 EXs if you didn't know what I was talking about. So anyway, that is our line. It's not, this is a very vanilla flavored deck. It's not, I mean, basically we're trying to get Mega Mewtwo charged up, and then after that we want to just sweep. We're probably not going to get more than 2 in a game charged up. So, but at 230 HP, it's one of the tankier Pokemon, and so for that reason, it can last in some battles pretty well. All right, now let's move on to our supporter line. The obvious one, we play 4 Sycamores. We've got to get through our deck quickly. We play through, so draw 7, discard your hand and draw 7. We play 2 Lysanders to bring up a Pokemon off the bench and finish the game off. We play, because of the way right now in standard format, and my decks are mostly standard, you won't see much expanded from me, but we play 2 Birch, and actually Birch has gone up in value. I think last time I saw it was actually getting close to $2 each now. So a cheaper alternative is Shauna, and I actually play 1 Shauna in the deck, so I play 2 Birch and 1 Shauna. I then have 3 one-ofs, and all 3, one of them I think I might get rid of, and I'll talk about that in the observations video. But the first one I play is Teammates. The chances are your Landorus is going to get knocked out, or they may get your Hoopa up and knock your Hoopa out. But you're going to probably take some, you're probably going to lose in the prizes at the beginning, and then you'll come through and sweep at the end. So Teammates can really help get whatever 2 items you need. If you need a Shaman for more draw power, it's available. But if you need a Spirit Link, grab a Spirit Link. If you need a Psychic Energy or a Fighting Energy, grab the right energy that you need. So Teammates has become invaluable in this deck, and I've just found it to be very useful to help us get set up. The other one that I think is very valuable, and I'm including this in this deck simply because when this becomes standard, it will be available to us, and that is 1 Skyla. Skyla is going to become available again in standard format once this set actually hits the US. So I play 1 Skyla, and Skyla again is very invaluable. We can grab a stadium if we need it. We can grab a Professor's Letter to grab energy if we need it. We can grab an Ultra Ball if we need to get a particular Pokemon out. Spirit Link, or we can even grab another supporter if our hand is really stuck right now. So that's really good. Now in this deck, and this might be one of them that I would change, but I just put it in there, and again, once you play test, you realize what you're trying to accomplish. But I played 1 Xerosic. Now it did come in handy because so many people play special energies, and this deck doesn't play any special energy. So to be able to just take 1 turn and get rid of one of their special energies can really help, save you some time. And not only that, we can VS Seeker and use it again and again if we need to keep knocking special energies off. And then we have 1 new supporter, Giovanni's Plan. Giovanni's Plan is actually a double, has 2 different options, and believe it or not, it comes in very handy in this deck. The first one is you can use it as a draw supporter. Now it's a very, very mediocre draw supporter at best. I would even say it's worse than Shauna. But there are times where I was able to use it for draw support. And so what it does is draw your hand back up to 5 cards. So it's not quite as good as a Shaman, but it's at least something. So if you only have like that and something else in your hand, you could use it and draw 4 cards. Could be very useful. The other effect that it has is that it could be it can add 20 damage to your attack for the turn, which for Mega Mewtwo this actually comes in handy since we're not running muscle bands because we're using Spirit Links. To be able to go from 200 to 220 might be enough to knock out Mega Latios, Mega Manectric, Mega Gardevoir. It's still not going to be enough to knock out some of the bigger EXs like the Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. But that being said, that extra 20 damage can knock out opposing Megas in 1 turn, and can be enough to help you with those. And with Mega Mewtwo being so popular right now, and some of the others that are around the 210, 220 mark, this could just become in really handy. So that's our supporter line. We'll move right on into our item cards now. The first one that we play 4 VS Seeker. Supporters are like the lifeblood of the game, and to be able to reuse them just makes a lot of sense. So by having 4 VS Seekers, we can reuse any or all of those supporters that we just looked at. We play 3 Ultra Balls. The first one usually goes to help us get Hoopa, but we also need to be able to grab Smeagol or Landorus. So 3 Ultra Balls seem to be perfect for me. I didn't really have to have any more problems with that. Obviously, we play 3 Spirit Links for the Mewtwo, Mega Mewtwo. We really don't want to, since we're using Landorus, we don't want to have to miss a Shadow Power if we can help it. So playing the Spirit Links helps us get be able to use Shadow Power every turn until we're ready to attack with Mega Mewtwo. Alright, the next card, we play 2 Trainers Mails. That helps us to that along with Skyla can help us find whatever we need. And then we play two new cards called Reserve Tickets. And these are a new card from the new set. What it does is it allows you to flip a coin. If you land on heads, then you get to look through your deck, grab a card, shuffle the rest of your deck, and then put that card on the top. So this can be very handy because then you can use this along with Trainer's Mail. So you can use the reserve ticket to then put it on top and then use Trainer's Mail to grab it. Or you can Shaman or Sycamore and get that card right away. So that came in very handy. So that was really nice. We also play 2 Battle Compressors. That's to get the energy in the discard pile so Landorus can Shadow Power. We play 1 Switch, 1 Escape Rope, just to help us get our Mewtwo's out of the active so we can put Landorus up or vice versa. And then finally we play 1 Professor's Letter. Since we're playing 2 different types of energy, we need Professor's Letter to help us find the exact type that we need for whatever attachment we need to make. So that is all of our item cards. We're almost done here. We'll go look at the stadiums next, and then finally the energy. Remember, though, I also said I'm going to do an observation video. Since I'm recording this after the battles, I'm going to do an observation and make some notes about what changes really should be made. But this is what we used in the Tuesday night fights. Alright, I play 3 Dimension Valleys. It just makes sense. Mega Mewtwo's attack is reduced by 1, so you only need 3 energies instead of 4 now. And that is just really awesome because then you can start Vanishing Strike much quicker. And then finally for the energies, I play 7 Fighting Energies and I play 5 Psychic Energies, so we have a total of 12 energies there. To be honest with you though, I think some of my Fighting Energy got lost because I really feel like I would have liked to have played an 8-4 splits, but because I didn't have 8 Fighting Energies for whatever reason, I used 7 and 5, but I think maybe an 8-4 split would be better. Anyway, with that, guys, that is the deck analysis. I hope you like it. Hit like, subscribe, comment below, tell me what you think. Also check out the Tuesday Night Fights video, which will be up shortly after this. And then also check out the observation video, which I'll be doing also. Talk to you later, guys. This is Pokedad signing off. Bye.